Hey everyone, it's Grayson the Goosebumps kid here. Yes, I'm finally back after like a month of just being gone. I've just been taking this time to focus on my horror movie reviewing channel. Now I'm coming back for a while to continue on my Goosebumps channel because I know you guys have missed me. We're over 100 subscribers, which I can't believe. It's a huge milestone. And I just want to thank all you guys for supporting me in the Discord as well as my YouTube channel. Just thank you for the continued support through my years on YouTube. I believe I've been doing YouTube for about 2 years now. And thank you for everything. Really means a lot. Anyways, today we'll be looking at the two triple header Goosebumps books. I would have done them separately, but I figured since there's only 2 in the series and I could do a ranking in here as well, I might as well go ahead and do both of them. So, yeah. It's probably going to be a longer review than you guys are used to, and honestly, it's kind of hard to keep track of all these stories, so I'll probably be missing a few key points. However, if you stick with me, just stick with me and let me know down in the comments if I've missed anything or if there's anything I forgot to mention in here. So, yeah, I will start on book 1. So, triple header. What is it about? So, the triple headers have 3 stories in them, and triple header can be taken 2 ways. First, the triple means that there's triple stories, so 3 stories in 1 book. And the triple header also means that it is a monster, or 3 monsters in 1. So that's another reason why it's called that. And the monsters are Lefty, Righty, and Slim. Slim is the one in the middle. Lefty and Righty are the ones on left and right, of course. Lefty, Righty, and Slim are kind of like these storytellers. They read about stories. They're not reading them to you because all the stories take place in first person, but they like introduce the stories and then you read along afterwards. But the 3 stories in here are, let me find them. I can look for them. Ghost Granny, Spin the Wheel of Horror, and Teenage Sponge Boys from Outer Space. Ghost Granny I'll start off with first. Ghost Granny starts off with a girl and her brother being at a funeral, and their mom and dad. They had this grandma that wasn't really their grandma. They weren't even related to her. She was a friend of their grandmother, and she was living with them, and she would just constantly bug them, harass them, and just be an utter annoyance. She didn't care about anybody. She just cared about getting free food and just living her own life. The reason why they never said anything to her was because she was old, and they were just too kind of a family to say anything to her. But she unfortunately died, and however, the brother and sister were kind of glad that she died. They know that sounds dark, but they just got tired of her annoyance and everything. So they take off, and they're just happy that they don't have to deal with her anymore. However, later on in the story, she comes back as a ghost. And I will leave you with that because I don't want to spoil anything else. Ghost Granny was a good story. Not, my most favorite of them. Probably my second favorite. Yeah, that's all I will say about that story. The next story in here is Spin the Wheel of Horror. And it follows this family that is invited to go on a game show. And the game show is called Spin the Wheel of Horror. These families come on and they spin a wheel, and they have to survive like these nightmare situations that could cause them to scream. But the whole point of the game is to not scream. If they don't scream, they win like $100,000, and they get to go on vacation or whatever. But if they scream at any point, then the game's over. They don't win anything, which kind of sucks. However, the family is a fan of the show, and they get invited up there. And on the drive, they get lost halfway through. However, this person, or so-called person, it's leads them to an area that they think is the game show. However, let's just say when they stop at the show, or in the building, they're in a back entrance. And once they get in there, they realize not everything is as it seems, and they may have been tricked. This story was honestly my least favorite out of the bunch. I did enjoy it for what it was. And the characters were all right, but overall it was kind of to me. Like, it didn't just have those thrills as I thought it would in these other two stories. Now, the last story in here is probably my favorite, and that is Teenage Sponge Boys from Outer Space. Basically, you follow this kid who is not good at fixing things, and he has this friend that he hangs out with. He's good at breaking stuff or dismantling them, but he's not good at fixing. So his parents get really annoyed when he starts messing with things, taking them apart, and then doesn't put them back together. They're really annoyed with him, and he apologizes, of course, but the family members don't care because he never fixes what he breaks. So, of course, in school, things are not much different. He breaks stuff, doesn't know how to fix them. Everybody's annoyed with him besides his friend. Then these two new kids come in. I believe their names are Deke and Dirk. I'm pretty sure those are their names, Dirk and Deke. And they are kind of weird kids. They're like outcasted, and they don't really have that many friends. But when the friend and his best friend go and meet with Dirk and Deke, they sort of form an alliance. And however, after they get out of school, they realize that Dirk and Deke may not be what they appear to be. And let's just say there's a lot of dark humor and a lot of gory stuff. Teenage Sponge Boys from Outer Space was honestly my favorite out of the first book. And it was pretty fun for the most part. I do enjoy the main character, his whole premise that he can't fix things. And this comes in handy, or this whole premise actually plays a huge part in the end of this story, which I will not spoil for you guys. And overall, probably my favorite out of the three books. So I'm going to go ahead and give my rating for this one. Then I'll move on to the next triple header. And if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give this about 8. So, yeah, what is everyone's thoughts on triple header book 1? Let me know down in the comments. And with that, we are moving on to triple header book number 2. Once again, they give us another 3 more stories to tell. And this time, I believe I enjoy the stories a lot better than I do book 1. That's just my opinion. One of them seems like a ripoff from a mummy story in the OG Goosebumps books or Series 2000. But other than that, I do enjoy this. So, the first book is the first story in this book is called, if I can remember, probably have to go back and look, sorry guys. Ghoul School. Thought it was something with school. So you follow this main character, and he is being transferred from a new school to another because his parents have moved, and his mom and dad move him into this new school. However, he soon realizes that this school is not what it appears to be. The kids are freaks, ghouls. They eat dirt. They eat each other. They eat humans. Reason why I'm saying this is because it's given away early on that they're ghouls. So it's not really a spoiler. And he's trying to find all sorts of ways to not be discovered as a human. And he's got all these bullies with him. And this kid named Marie saves him. and she says she's not like the others, she's not a ghoul either. And she comes up with a plan to trick them into thinking that he's a monster, and so they won't eat him. Then after that, all chaos ensues. Ghoul School was probably my favorite out of all of them. I really did enjoy it. Just the main character, the way he's struggling, trying to fit in, I could totally agree with. Not to the monster extent, but having to move schools and or just transitioning grades to, this higher classman type of thing. I totally get, and I totally feel for him. Ending, it was pretty good too. Enjoyed that. The next story in here is called The Revenge, and you have two kids named Isaac and Cecilia. I believe that's her name. Isaac and Cecilia. And they're being terrorized by this kid. Is his name... Let me find it. I know it started with a C. Sorry, guys. Corey. I knew it started with a C. Corey is their bully. He picks on them. He gives them nicknames. He gives Isaac, I'm sick, which is kind of weird. Then later on, he gives Cecilia, Isquelia, they're stupid nicknames. I don't get them. But Corey's a jerk, I gotta be honest. One of the worst kids I've ever seen, besides Tara, of course, from Cuckoo Clock of Doom. He's just an utter jerk and doesn't get along with anyone. He cares about nobody but himself. He's the class bully. So Isaac and Cecilia want to get back at him for what he's doing. And Cecilia comes across a fortune teller that Isaac thinks is a ripoff, but Cecilia is desperate to get back at Corey, so she breaks out her her savings and gives the woman the $100. And her supposed plan is to listen to this lady. The lady talks about how she can enter, an out-of-body experience where nobody can hear, nobody can see her, but she can do whatever she wants, but she only has an hour, and then she's stuck in the afterlife, out-of-body experience forever. But she decides to take the risk and get revenge on Corey. Then after that, some awesome stuff happens, and some dark things. The Revenge was probably my least favorite out of all of them. No, I'll take that back. It's my second favorite. But there are some problems in here that I won't get too long, but the ending is pretty fun, but at the same time, it's kind of sad, so you'll just have to bear with me on that. If you read the book, you'll understand what I mean. Then the last story is called Mummy. I believe that's what it's called. No, it starts with Mummy. The Mummy with My Face. Yeah. It's about a kid and his sister. His sister's a year older than him, and his parents are having to take a vacation up to Cairo for like a business trip. And they get stuck in like a tour guide through an ancient Egyptian pyramid. And the kid's having a bad time. He's getting bored, but his sister is actually getting engaged with it. So, while they're going through this, they meet up with a guy named Ahir, or Ayer, something like that. And he says he can give them a whole nother experience, deep into another pyramid that nobody has seen yet. It is not open up to the public. So, they agree, and they go down in there. Then, later on, he splits off from them. They can't find him. Then, they get pretty scared, and let's just say mummy chaos ensues, and some cliches happen. I'll just say that. The Mummy with My Face was kind of alright. I do enjoy most of the characters. The ending is really probably the happiest ending I've seen out of all these books, besides The Revenge, sort of The Revenge. But this is definitely the most happiest ending out of all of them. Or most happiest, what am I saying? The happiest ending out of all of them. So, it was alright for the most part. Other than that, it's just like the mummy cliche. I've already read it like 3 times already. With Return of the Mummy's Tomb, or Return of the Mummy and the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, the usual. But I will say there were some twists in here that were all right. So with that, book 2, very, very good. Besides that last story, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, would definitely give this a 9 out of 10. Enjoy this over the original just a small bit. I know that's probably an unpopular choice, but I don't need to do a ranking because you already know the 2 books. They've only released 2 so far. They may not release another one. No, they were planning on a 3rd one, but they canceled it, unfortunately. So, yeah, if you want my ranking, book 2 is my favorite. Book 1 is my, or book 2 is what I prefer over book 1. So, it's book 1, then book 2 is my favorite. So, with that, I have done the triple header book 1 and book 2 reviews. What is everyone's thoughts on book 1 and book 2? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Would love to hear everyone's thoughts on it. And yeah, with that, I am back on my Goosebumps channel. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. God bless and have a good day. Bye, everyone.